All right, guys, this is Mike and Emily Griffin, owners of the Shoedio. This is purpose. This is partnership. This is resilience. This is purpose through creativity. So I'm excited and thank you for your time. It's good to see you guys, first of all. Everything going well? How are we doing on sleep with all these shoes that we're making?
Busy time of year.
Yeah.
Overtime.
Yeah.
Blessed to be stressed is kind of the motto we're living by
Blessed
now.
to be stressed. I mean, let's go back for a minute, Mike, with you. I mean, I know we just met in the past few years, but I know if anybody can relate of resilience and perseverance, I can feel that. Take me back to a year on the streets before that moment, and then boom, obviously you had this idea.
So, I mean, there was some time, like, I went through my struggles and then met Emily. And really, for me, Kobe Bryant died. And for whatever reason,
It triggered.
yeah, and even more so, somebody that I didn't know hitting me like that, and I didn't have my own life figured out, that triggered me. Of like, why is somebody that I've never met before? So I like tried to do some research about it and like figure out what it was about Kobe. And it's pretty much because he was about hard work, dedicate. He's what I knew I needed to be. His mindset. And a lot changes when you have a family. You're a mom. Like, I had a kid and I wasn't doing what I thought a dad should do for his kid. So, I mean, even our son now, he thinks that dad's jobs are to figure it out. Because that's the only answer I have is I don't know how I did it. I just like, you figure it out. And yeah.
A parent's role of just 1 second at a time to figure it out.
Yeah.
So Kobe dies. Was there a moment in your heart, your spirit, your soul that's like, I want to make some shoes?
Not really. I mean, I always loved shoes. And COVID hit. And there was nothing to do. So I took an old pair of shoes and Emily bought me a set of paintbrushes and some paint, and I sat down and painted them in honor of Kobe, and they weren't good. I had done no research on like how to properly do it, but God gave me my time of like peace where at 31 years old, everything went silent. Like, how am I going to get through tomorrow wasn't on my brain. And I never had that. I've had I had silence on the regret from things I had done in the past and the decisions and them holding me back. I just found my zone. So I told Emily I want to do this and I don't want to go back to making $8 an hour. I want to take our stimulus check and buy paint and shoes and give them away. And she told me to go for it just to stick with it. So, and then she worked and paid all our bills for 2.5 years and bought us a house. So like with that, as a man, I couldn't fail. You know what I mean? Like, just like that wasn't an option. So you asked about the hours, it just made the hours didn't mean anything. It wasn't hard to work 24, 36 hours. And then when you say it, it's like, oh, he works 36 hours. Well, so do doctors at a hospital, right? Like, it's just a mindset. And how bad do you want something? And I couldn't let her and my son down.
Starting, not knowing how to do it with a partner who loved you and the idea of the future and faith enough to go out there and bust it. Because as a man, and I know me and Roy have had these conversations, to be in a position where the she is bringing home the bacon is a detriment on the spirit and soul of a true man.
100%.
Because a true man wants to provide for his family.
A pride shock. Like, it's an embarrassment, and it shouldn't be. Like, that's the thing. Like, as a man, the time we're moving into now, it's more okay for a man to cry than it was 20 years ago. 20 years from now, I'm hoping that that's not as an embarrassment as it is today. Because for me, it was something I was ashamed of even. But I took that and turned it around to, everybody that looks down on it, they'll look up on it one day, and they'll see that she knew what she was doing, and
that was your drive.
Yeah.
To get through it, to pull those hours.
Right.
He turned that negative emotion into such a positive for our family.
And I think there's one thing to be embarrassed or shameful if you wasn't out there believing or trying.
but
Versus like, she doing it. I'm just going to sit here.
Exactly.
Versus I got me a real one. And this is a team effort.
But there was those times where because I wasn't, with what I was doing, I wasn't just making sales. So it was like, I did feel like I was failing. And it did look like it could have been perceived as, oh, is he really trying? Because there was no results. Does that make any sense? Like, she'll tell you there was a night where she came.
I came and found him on the couch looking at jobs. I said, what are you doing? Put your phone down. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. You haven't reached the top. You still got time. Keep going. Put your phone down. Either take a nap or go get back to work.
And I'm so grateful to have been connected with y'all. Lord knows we was first connected. We went to Lego Land and
painted the store.
First thing in the morning.
This is beautiful because, a lot of people has been hurt by love. I have hurt Roy. I have done things. I have been hurt by love or what love was. But to find love in a sense of no matter if it's a marriage or a friendship, or to find your people that if you call me, I'm gonna be there at the studio if I can figure out my childcare. Or if you need,
we're on the side of the road
if you're on the side of the road in the rain, baby, I got you.
Yeah.
I am your people in your corner, and to find that where it's a day to day, and you can get through the bumps and grinds of love and starting out and figuring out new family and what this looks like, but let alone support a dream that isn't showcasing results yet.
And that everyone else is telling you isn't going to work. That's the other half of it with us. It wasn't just the results weren't showing. Everyone that's supposed to believe in you, that's the tricky part about it. Everyone that was supposed to believe in us didn't.
You had a better chance finding a stranger on the side of the road.
I still
to
do.
believe.
And I have people tell me that they're proud of me. And I have complete strangers tell me they're proud of me. And I know they genuinely are because they never doubted me. But then I have other people I have to tell, I recognize the difference between being proud and surprised. And it's okay. Like, be surprised. But don't take away from the people that are genuinely proud of me and say you're proud. If you're proud, you would have never doubted me. Is the type of thing, that's where we're at.
So when you're coming home and he's looking for jobs and you're like, stop wasting your time. Get back to what you're supposed to be doing. Was there something in your spirit or something that he did on a shoe or something that you knew just could create this, gave him peace to a full-time?
So I just remember when I was pregnant with Matt, I was 19, right? My parents did not want me to be with him. They cut me off financially, right? This man did everything he could, everything in his will to make sure I was full and I had somewhere safe to sleep at night. So his determination I'd already seen. So I knew in my heart if he stuck with it.
That's Roy running them 2.5 miles. That's $7 an hour. Honey.
Absolutely. Yep. He'd go work a full hour shift. He moved. He worked for a moving company. Moving houses, and then would go and work odd jobs with friends to make sure I was good. So I knew no matter what.
If he's doing that here, he's going to do that at another level.
Absolutely.
I just always knew, like, even growing, I didn't want to be. I say this humbly too. I want to be different. Like, as humbly as that can come off of. I knew I wasn't a professional athlete. I knew I wasn't going to be president of the United States. But I knew I was supposed to have my stage. And I always felt that which always made me feel like anytime I went and did another job or
It didn't feel right.
I just couldn't last just because it's like I felt like there was something bigger for me. And, you know, some people might look at that and go, oh, you know, see the cocky, whatever, or just like, no, I just felt it and I wasn't going to be content.
Your soul's not at rest when you know something else is longing and you're longing for it. And it's hard when you don't know what it is, but you just know this ain't it. And it's powerful because what you know isn't it is just as powerful as knowing what is it, you know? Do you feel like you were always creative as a child? No.
Well, I mean, I may have been. I feel like he might have been suppressed.
Yeah.
Like I was a troublemaker.
You got creative on how to start some trouble. No, I'm kidding.
Well, and I even think it was just more like reaching out for, you know, for their guidance. And, you know, I wasn't very creative. At least I think I doubted myself more than anything else. I didn't think I could, so I didn't try. And when it comes down to it, they lean back towards something bigger. I don't think it's the shoes that's bigger for me. I think I'm talented and I'm great at designing and I've got a talent and I've worked real hard with that. But I think that's my vessel that kids didn't, like when I was a kid, I didn't listen to the guidance counselor because the guidance counselor didn't go through what I went through. I listened to the football player that came and spoke in the gym for whatever reason because I thought he was cool. So for me, I think kids listen. It opens the door for opportunities for some kids and adults as well to listen because of what I do is cool and who I do it for. They like, and that it's just my vessel to show people you don't have to wait until you're 31 to fix yourself.
You answered so many questions without even, I don't even know what I got these for. You know, like, what am I doing?
Like, I feel like that's my bigger purpose is to make a difference. I went through struggles. I was, you know, locked up at 16, which set the whole precedent that I didn't think because society told me this is what I was. It took me till I was 31 years old to realize, like, if I change that, then eventually society will too. So if I can show some other kids, hey, it doesn't matter if the decisions and actions you do today are what you'll be judged on 5 years from now, you're going to have to live with the ones you made tomorrow for 5 years. It's just how it is. Let's start today and every other day. 5 years ago, there's people that wouldn't associate with me. And now they look up to me. So I just want to show some other people that. And if you believe in your loved ones, that's all it really takes.
I knew when I met you guys, when you were so vulnerable to talk about your, you know, your past and upbringing or whatever, and even in a marriage, because marriages are hard, and to have vulnerable conversations, I knew, like, I was believing before that dang Shoedio even opened, and I was so excited because I knew that the shoe was only a connector dot for you to impact people's lives, for you to have these open conversations that you're bold enough to step into and say, look, it's not always just making these cute shoes for, you know, the Panthers or the Hornets or anybody that comes to the Spectrum Center. Like, this isn't, it's like real estate. All right, y'all see this beautiful home, but baby, that ain't it. Okay, you didn't see all the negotiations and the grind and 12 interviews to get the listing and all these things that people don't see. And when somebody's so vulnerable, that is when you tap into true, authentic you, and you're able to do that in a creative way. I want to go back for a second, sis, when a couple of years ago and all of this is unfolding and you wasn't trying to go to that office no more. You was ready to be done. And I remember the day, and it was like, we're done. I'm out of the doctor's office, and now I'm full throttle, side by side with my man, and as a business partner, and as a parent, you know, because that's a lot right there. That's 3 different roles with a bazillion different roles all combined. Take me back to that moment. Did you have a moment where it was like, all right, this is it. I'm done. Like, what was that moment to know? Because there's so many people out there that's facing a moment of, it doesn't make sense on paper. Everybody's saying they don't believe, but we believe enough. What was that moment? Did you hear something, see something, or just...
I just remember I was at work one day and they didn't want to let me off for Matt's kindergarten orientation. And I said, they said you could have the afternoon, but it was in the morning. And I was like, and he told me.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes. I called him and he said, you know what? You can have off whatever day you need for the rest of your life. Quit. And so I did.
We had $13 for our name. Like business and personal account. But she said to me, she was like, we fell in love together in a shed. That's where we end up back. Okay, but if we're going to win together, we're going to win together. And 10 months later, we got named Business of the Year.
Yeah. I was about to say, baby, this is we're not just talking like, small scale here. I mean, you literally blew up the charts of creative business and Business of the Year and magazine covers and, all of this. And in the moment of return of believing in him, he returned and believed in you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's love. And love is hard and it's beautiful and it's soft and then it's hard again.
Oh yeah.
And y'all sitting here.
Whew.
This is good. That's the raw emotion of realness, And I thank y'all for allowing me always to have time with you when the moment is there. And it's always just so real.
Dude.
I don't have, it's like,
gotta be because we
it's
want to
not
inspire
that I can't
others.
be real with anybody. I can be real, but some people don't get the realness because until you've came from struggle and then you also have grown a little bit, there's a lot of people that we meet that either don't want to remember the struggles or they've never experienced the struggles.
It must be nice.
Or
it must be, but I'm a believer, like I want to inspire people. And if all you do is post Business of the Year, post I did a pair of shoes for this, post I sold this house, because social media, it's great at making everybody's life look perfect.
Those highlight reels.
But if you believe that, you're only lying to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you can actually do the opposite. If you're trying to inspire people and you only post your success, there's a high likelihood you do the opposite of the intended effect you wanted to have, because you could have people sitting on the other side of that screen going, well, why is Michael catching all the breaks? Why is Shayna and Roy catching all the breaks? Why is Emily catching all the breaks? And I'm having no luck. And that can be a discouragement instead of being real, like, nah, I screwed up this pair of shoes, or I didn't get this client, or, I was late on my bill this month, or I had road rage today, right? Then you're relatable and people can truly be inspired and go, okay, well, yeah, he's still going through it. Yeah, it might look good because he's driving that car, but he knows what it's like still. And if he's going through it, I can go through it and I can make it too. So it's a very fine line on inspiring people or discouraging them. So you got to keep it real.
Do you feel, because I feel the wiser I become, growing up in the mountains and having slang, and I still have it, Lord knows I still got the slang, but to be able to authentically just be you attracts the right people to your life or the opportunities to you because you are being vulnerable to be authentic.
Yeah.
I think culture wants us to only show the beautiful homes. And that ain't it.
No.
What goes on in these four walls that I'm selling? Was there a death? Is there a newborn? Is it an estate and you didn't even live here? That's the stuff that people don't see. And I'm just relating it to real estate because obviously. But when you are real authentic, things start aligning and people start connecting and more doors start opening up because of that relation. I feel like that's when you really get to the meats, like the stuff that really matters. It ain't just the shiny shoes on a Sunday.
Well, and that's what I was trying to do with my
what
shoes.
About little Matt that was in there handing that paintbrush to Daddy?
Falling down the stairs. Yeah, y'all bringing y'all, we ain't even have any money to paint the walls. So paint party,
paint party.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing Matt grow up. Like,
Oh my
he'll
gosh.
understand how he is about business and how proud he is. Still, even at the drive-thru last night, he's in the back yelling out the window, "My mom and dad own the Shoedio."
Everywhere we go.
Yeah,
And that's-
he told me the other day he wanted to, Shayna. Kid's 7 years old, right?
I miss that little book. He was so cute.
Kid's 7 years old, and we had the roughest week we've had in probably a year
Oh,
work-wise
yeah,
last
easy.
week.
Dang,
I'm
it
up
must
at-
have been something. Well, last week I was just staying on the other one. Crazy.
It
Listen.
was midnight. We had 21 pairs of shoes to finish by like 8 a.m. Our 7-year-old grabbed a paintbrush till 3 o'clock in the morning and sat there. And like, not as a 7-year-old helping, and it's really not a help. No, like, he made the artist in Daddy proud because I didn't have to go behind him. And just being able to recognize, oh, mom and dad are really in the weeds. And that he stepped up. It's like, no matter what happens business-wise, Shoedio could go down tomorrow. My son's going to be okay because what the Shoedio's taught him. You know? And I'm cool with that. So,
What do you feel, Emily, what do you feel, 3 things the Shoedio has taught little Matt?
Oh gosh, what hasn't it taught him? I feel like the Shoedio has made Matt so confident. He's always so happy to be outspoken and speak to anybody and be kind
And
to
yelling
people.
out a window, honey.
Yes, yes. I think it's taught him how to give back. Everybody he sees, he wants to see how he can help them and how he can make their day better. And let me tell you, that little boy is a businessman at this point too, okay? He talks about his
Entrepreneur
lemonade
spirit.
stands, and he knows
Oh.
cost of goods, cost of running a business too, and profit margins. He understands it all.
yeah,
He
he
gets
said he
it.
wanted to do a lemonade stand and wanted to sell lemonade for like $7 a cup. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
we're
it's
like,
2025.
dude, that's
but-
a lot.
And he was like, well, Dad, I've got overhead. I've got to pay you back with interest on what you loaned me so I can go buy my product. He's 7 and said that. And I was like,
And these are conversations he's hearing
overhearing
you guys
us have with people like
and
y'all.
not directly with
it-
him. And then boom. I mean, how powerful.
Yeah, family business. Hashtag.
I mean, holy smokes. I mean, little Matt.
Yeah.
Talking about P&Ls and, like that's, if the Shoedio was to go down, and it ain't because we don't even talk in that language, but the seeds that will
Planted.
never go
Planted.
away.
Playing.
There,
That kid's going up on Shark Tank by the time he's 14.
yeah.
He's
yeah.
just, and he's got just figure it out. Like, you just got to figure it out. Life. I'm not trying to tell my kid there's any game plan to life, because there's not. You can't plan out next week. You can try to prepare all you want, but you never will be. Something will always happen to make you unprepared. And if you prepare your kids to be unprepared, if that, I think they're better off in these days.
That's people wanting control. I'm going to plan because I want control of the outcome. And I am guilty at trying to do the best of
No,
that.
you see us will hop in the car at 3 a.m. We had a Legoland.
Yeah.
And they
I don't even know if they got a room.
We're like,
don't
you
even
said
know-
you're going to Legoland,
Well, no.
right? We're on the way.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Rory was trying to talk me. I had kids throw paint all over a store. I was a cool dad for one day, and Rory's like, we're going to Legoland.
Not a full day.
I'm like,
Legoland was decided while we were there.
I'm going to be cool dad for a little longer than this. We're going-
Yeah.
Oh,
Legoland, I mean, was a
We coulda
little
picked- we
bust
coulda-
of the bubble.
we could have
but
picked
yes.
a bigger, better next time.
Yeah,
What a
but
memory.
it was all better because
Yeah.
we were together.
Exactly.
Fire alarm and all.
With Matt on the subject, is he still homeschooled?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We just started that this year. Homeschool's working good for who we are.
Where's the dynamic of owning the business, having Matt, marriage? Because you're speaking my language of the day-to-day chaos,
Yeah.
because it truly is when business and kids and lifestyles collide.
It all blurs
You're
together.
not checking out 8 to 5. That ain't that office
You're
anymore.
not leaving work.
But you
work
got
isn't-
to be at anything that he wanted to be at, in any sporting event. There's no asking, right? So
Yeah.
the perks totally outweigh that. But where's this the lifestyle of blending with homeschool? Because that's a whole nother layer that I know a lot of viewers have either transitioned to and they're new at it, or B, are heavily they're contemplating on it because
I love it. I am like, I always thought it was gonna be great. I know my kid too, though. I think that's a lot of it, knowing your kid.
I was very hesitant at first.
She didn't want to do it.
I did not think that I could do it. I was very, especially before he learned how to read and write on his own, I did not want to touch that with a 10-foot pole, right? But
if I wanted to, I'd be in elementary ed right now,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
Listen, it made me nervous. I was nervous for his future,
Right.
with choosing to do that. It has worked so well for our lifestyle.
But again, we know our kids. I also
know
think
them.
with Matt, reading, writing, in the future, our kid's a hustler. Our kid's
He's a creative. He's
gonna figure out how to make $1, and it's not gonna be sitting down with a book. It's more the technology, the engineering, the management. He's definitely a leader. He's 7 years old, and all of his friends are 10 and 12, like literally all of them. So,
well, that already puts him above his,
So I think a lot of when it comes to homeschool, we do a homeschool program where it's online through a computer, so we can kind of like let Matt sit and he just does it. I don't think that's for every kid. It might not even be, you can have 3 kids in one house.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you have 3 kids in one house, all brothers and sisters, and they all need a different type of schooling. So, but for our lifestyle with travel and the hour, Matt doesn't get up and do school at 7 a.m. Matt does school at 8:30 or 9 p.m. Why? Because mom and dad work late nights. We can get more creative work done when the phone's not ringing. So 9, 10 p.m., most people go to bed. Well, we're pulling out the paintbrushes. And that's family time at that point. So we're just on a different schedule. So our kid does his schoolwork at night, which also allows him to socialize with the other kids throughout the day once they're out of school and he's not having to sit there and do his homeschool. And it's just worked really, really well for us. He seems happier, more involved with family, and
I love that because everybody feels like, oh, if what works for one, it'll work for mine, or if it works for one child, it'll work for the other one. And it's just, you don't fit nobody in a box because we're all so different. But I love that it's working for you guys because I know that when he was in school and then it was like, we're thinking about, and then you did it. And, all of these phases of like figuring out what works best for you and yours.
Yeah, if you want
again,
to like
not
look
casting
at like,
judgment
hey, what does a crazy lifestyle, crazy decision making happen? Just look at the Griffins and we'll be like,
fantastic.
This is the blueprint. If you want to jump off that cliff, we're going to show you how, but we're also going to show you like you can swim when you hit the water.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we do
We're different.
Boom. What makes this work in the business and a marriage? Like, what's the strengths of Mike and what's the strengths of Emily? Because it's always like a yin and yang.
I feel like we flip flop.
We do? Okay.
I feel like we flip flop very hardcore.
Okay, creative wise, what's the strengths here? What's Emily not gonna do because Mike's just got it, and vice versa?
Talk to an athlete.
Who's doing that? Mike.
That's
oh,
him.
okay.
Yeah,
Emily's like, I'm out.
I'm out on that one. He's not going to go and talk to corporate offices.
I'm not going to call.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk to that VP. There's a difference. Culture.
Yeah.
My background. But how I'm dressed, how she's dressed. Like, this is our daily. This is who we are. I'm able to walk up. I'm able to dap up that ball player and like speak the language he understands. Emily's able to pick up that phone and be on the VP with the vice president of Bank of America and speak that language. We're not the same.
And thank God, right?
Thank
Because
God.
who would be picking up the calls if both of you were one or the other, right?
It makes it work. That's why I tell people a lot that, I look like I'm the face of the business because obviously the athletes and stuff make the brand. But she's the backbone. Like, she's doing more behind the scenes. If you called the Shoedio and said, I want to book an appointment or I want to have Mike make me a custom pair of shoes, you're going to talk to Emily.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be the one that figures out what it is your design is and even break it down into, she knows how to translate it to me to where I understand what the average Joe person is trying to say to me. Because my mind runs 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I can't, a lot of times I lose stuff in the translation because I'm thinking about 100,000 things at one time. So she's almost like my translator.
Try.
We try. So when y'all sit down for a pair of shoes, is there a process for this design piece? Like, not the ones that's like, oh, I want this, this, and this, and this material.
We don't even do that anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you can give us a theme or your colors, but he works best if you
don't give
What am I good at?
Right.
I'm good at designing shoes, right?
Right.
If
don't take that. Don't strip it from me.
Well, no, if you were really good at designing shoes, you'd probably be you'd probably be designing shoes. You're really good at selling houses though, right? I ain't trying to put my, I think that's a great example. You go to sell your home, you don't put a for sale by owner out there, do you? No, you hire a realtor to sell your house for you. You go to get your hair cut, you don't tell your hairstylist how to hold the scissors and what way to cut your hair, or if they say, hey, this haircut isn't going to look good on you, you probably listen to them. Why? Because they look at hair and heads all day long. So we had to learn to draw the line because I'm not trying to build a business. I'm trying to build a brand. So everything I do follows me as an artist. My name is on it. And if you want me to do an ugly design or a untasteful design, somebody may ask you who did that. And not because they want to know where to go, it's because they want to know where not to go. And I had that happen a couple of times. And I'd rather make the sacrifice and turn away a client than do a bad design with my name on it, because that's going to help my family in the long term a lot more.
So boom, want a shoe, boom, boom, boom. Here's the details. What's y'all's process? Do you automatically see something? Do you think about it for a couple hours? Sometimes you don't have a couple hours. You just got to figure it out. Like, what's this process of making sure the artist and the design?
It really depends.
It depends on the vibe, and it depends on the day.
It really does. It really does.
Sometimes I'm able to just sit down. Sometimes I just, boom, I can pitch like those. As soon as I saw that leather, I knew exactly what I was doing. Then sometimes I put too much pressure on myself because I get too many details too. Oh, I need this incorporated in this. And I always try to make my next pair my best pair. And then, so sometimes I'll spend hours and hours trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And she'll finally just say, just start.
Yeah. Just please start painting.
And then I'll just start like these. I couldn't figure out what I was going to do. She just said, just start. So I just put paint in 3 different airbrush guns and just, and I don't know.
A true artist, like there's not supposed to be.
But I don't look at myself like that, Shana.
You've got to.
We were at the Mint Museum. My art was at the Mint Museum on Sunday, and it was the first time I've ever felt like I was really an artist, because I just think I make shoes.
You hear this?
Like,
this is what I battle. It's like,
okay,
and I don't think I'm as good as everybody. Like, that's the other thing is I find something wrong with everything I do.
I mean, I can attest to that, and the expectations of myself in certain areas of,
Do you find that hard? Do you find in your expectations of yourself harder to deal with, or the expectations you feel like others put on you harder to deal with?
Me, because I don't think there was so many expectations placed on me that I knew as a child too, I'm different. Something in me, and I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's going, and I don't know when and how and what it's going to look like. But just like you knew something something's not aligning.
I'm not in the pack.
I'm different.
Yeah.
I think all creatives minds, it's really hard because the world wants to box you in like these children or, these ideas of what's normal, and to box me in to tell me I should be a teacher because I loved kids and I love to teach people. Yeah, but this is also a form of teaching when you're having conversations. To say I should be a pharmaceutical because the pharmacy isn't going anywhere. You
Yeah.
know, like what kind of purpose was I going to
That's what I was told. I
fulfill
need
when
to do
my
construction.
soul, and nothing's wrong with those, but my soul was telling me that's not where my path is. So yeah, I have been told I have set too high. You have set too high of expectations on yourself. Well, that's okay for you to say, but if you look at all successful people, they had high expectations because they believed in themselves or their soul was yearning for something more, and they were able to continue. Now, does it come with hard darkness and crazy? Yeah, but I still think that's a part of the creative process, that we're able to believe in it enough and be creative to figure it out. But I think the expectations of me is way harder because I'm not worried about what other people have expectations of me. I know that I want to shoot for the stars as a little girl.
Land on the moon.
I'm leaving the mountains and I'm going to go to the city and I'm going to figure it out. I'm dreaming big. Nobody had that expectations of me. It was always me knowing I could do it and I was going to do it.
You see, I didn't
That's
ever think
hard.
I could do it, but I'm battling now with the whole world didn't believe in me. I was literally told dead or in jail, right? They got one of them right. You know, that's cool. But
Let's not go back. And let's not go
going
the other.
from no one believing in you at all
Mm-hmm.
to then everyone believing in the world in you, that's probably been the hardest thing for me to deal with in the last 18 months. Because it didn't matter what I did. No one believed, wouldn't have surprised anybody. Now it's like expectations are so high that when it comes to designing that next pair, it's starting to get harder because it's like, now I don't want to let anyone down. Before I was just used. That's just what
But
it was.
do you feel like a lot of that is pressure you're putting on yourself that nobody else is? Because Roy tells me all the time, he's like, you just stressed out and nobody is even going to know the other options that you just stressed out about. But the expectations of you wanting to continue.
Because I have to be the greatest at what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And even the accomplishments that we've had, those aren't.
That ain't it.
That's a step
That's a step
to the goal.
Right.
I got a big goal. And I want to be a household name. I want to be the next Virgil. I want to go from sneaker customizer to head of a fashion brand. And business of the year, that's a step.
Mm-hmm.
That's just to get the next door open to the next person I need to get in front of to get me in the next store, in the next room, you know, and who knows how many rooms you got to go through to get through that. So yeah, I think there's part of it, yes, expectations and stress I put on myself. I put it out there that that's what I want, and not even that that's what I want, but I try to manifest it. Hey, this is what I'm going to make happen.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, people expect it of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the pressures of certain people looking up to my work and looking forward to the next thing I come out with.
I mean, we all are, because you never know.
Same thing as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is the pressure they feel for that next album to be killer themselves, or is it because everyone expects it to be? It's kind of a combination of both. You can't have one without the other at that point. But going from having literally people not believing you never accomplish anything to then the bar being set so high, I think that's things that a lot of people that make it out the mud, you know, in the sense that it's something that isn't acknowledged. Like it's a struggle that people go through that is never spoken about. And yeah.
Emily, how do you feel like, again, the Shoedio is so much more than just the shoes, because the culture that it's been able to create for your own family. Mm-hmm. But how do you feel like the Shoedio has changed the culture of not just Charlotte? Because let's not get it twisted. Like, you got shoes sitting in homes and places of performers and artists and comedians, musicians, it doesn't matter, right? So like you're already into this space of what you're manifesting. So how do you feel like the culture within the Charlotte space and out, just because you're here right now, how do you feel like it's shifted? Like how's the culture of businesses and creativity and shoe game, like all of it? Even the athletic wise, I know little Matt's probably like, let me see him run out on that field, let me see them shoes, you know, like how is this culture, how do you feel like it's changed in the last couple of years of you guys being the top business?
So I really feel like people are looking for more creative experiences and more creative ways to gift their people that are performing well in companies or a loved one or something like that. I think people are looking for something different. They don't just want to keep doing the same thing as normal. And what we're offering is really something unique, you know? And every time you come see us, it's a new experience. We come to you, it's a different experience then too. So, I mean, I really just feel like it's expanding. It's constantly shifting and changing and just growing to reaching places that you wouldn't really have expected it to 3, 4, 5 years ago.
It's like this bridging to
Like a gap.
Yeah.
the gap, like from the last generation of CEOs to the new generation of workforce. You know, maybe even when we went to go rent our store, how many of the people told us they wouldn't rent to us because we never would be able to pay rent drawing on shoes? Because the people that owned those buildings didn't understand the culture of it. So now those HR departments who couldn't find a way to relate to their young employees are able to bring Shoedio and the sneakers into it, and it's bridging that gap.
By the way, I didn't lease, and you're not my tenant, but I want 100 pairs for my entire HR department.
Pretty much.
You know?
You know, when Spectrum did their commercial on us, they rented out the building across the street from us for us to change our clothes in. And it was 2 locations that wouldn't rent to me 2 years ago. The satisfaction I got from knowing they told me they wouldn't rent to me 2 years ago. And now I have a national campaign being shot on me, and they're being forced to rent to me for a day. It's like, man.
Again, it all
It
comes
comes
back
back
down.
around.
It comes down to like truly, truly believing.
Yeah.
Like believing in yourself enough to do what people can't envision because you believe it so much to make it happen. Nobody else has to believe it. Nobody.
There's a difference between, and I say this to people that come in our workshop, that with Emily, especially with a man, if your wife tells you she believes in you, it's impossible. There's something chemistry wise that clicks off. We're not going to fail. But there is a difference between if you're at the carnival and go, hey, yeah, babe, you're going to make that shot, versus, hey, babe, I know you're about to drain that shot.
It's all about the energy and
There's a difference between believing in them and believing in them. And as a man, we feel it. So, yeah, you know, that's believe in your people.
And that's
Truly.
humble because a lot of men don't want to, you know, they want to avoid that they need the support. They can do it on their own, or avoid, you know, like we said, like tears of real emotion. And it's like this vulnerable state of having a woman or a partner or a backbone. Like that is bread and butter.
Yeah, because everybody wants you to feel like you've always had it figured out.
Right.
Like as a man, like that's how I see it. Is it? What do you mean? You just always you ain't ever not known what's going on. That's fake. That's fake as hell. I don't think a real man ever gets it figured out until he finds a real one. You know.
So how do you guys like cut off working together? And I'm not saying there's a right answer because 3 years of me and Roy.
cut off.
What are we cutting off? Because yeah. I mean, there's got to be like this weekend. You know, you call, you're heading to the mountains for your anniversary. Obviously, there's like a distinct. We're leaving the business to spend time.
No, there's
on marriage. Not that your phone ain't gonna ring, but you still made an intentional effort.
No.
You know, how do you have like?
I don't think we're like that.
I don't either. I don't think there's ever really a separation. It'll be, I'll get up first thing in the morning, I'll be working all day. He'll hit me midnight at night and be like, hey, I want to do this tomorrow and I want to think about this business-wise.
It's just
and
constant.
There's no off.
But there's still got to be times where I'm going to focus on Emily or like, you know what I mean?
But
Like
even when
we're
we
gonna be
do,
intentional.
it just because we love our business, we'll sit down and we'll say, hey, we're taking the day off, or we're just going out and we're not going to talk about work.
And then somebody's like, oh, and then
Normally me.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
are you fearful of burnout if you're
Oh,
not
I burned out. I was in the hospital last year because of burnout.
So we got to keep you out of there.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing IVs this year. I got with the athletic schedule. But no, it's
because I know,
why would you be doing something and that's not what you want to? We're 100%.
You're probably talking to 90% of America. How
We're
many people are out
100%
here
invested
doing
in
things they don't want to be doing?
Yeah, so there's no separation of we can't leave work at work. Do we want to? Yeah, sometimes I guess it's to take a break, but those breaks come as we want to, just in our discussion. If we're sitting down at dinner and the discussion leads to, hey, we need to make a new color, or, oh, I had this idea for work, or, hey, I need to run this fight. We're not hating on it because that's our life.
I could not.
How many times are you and Roy in bed and you're typing up a contract, or you go, oh, look at this, agent, how they marketed that. And just in casual conversation, it doesn't have to be like, hey, we're sitting down, we're talking about work. But you might see something on your phone that's relatable to your job that y'all do or your business, and you say it to your partner. It doesn't matter what hour of the day it is or where you're at. That's just,
I think that's
chasing it.
That's a part of like the creative mind and being a family-owned business, or, your mind does not turn off. Like you wake up and you go to bed thinking all of it, right? So your lifestyle is fitting into these dreams and these goals that you are constantly trying to produce for yourself.
No, I mean, you tell them there's times where she has to tell me, like,
I do every once in a while. I need just a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm always like, hey, it's this time. I've been going since this time. You woke up a little bit later than me before you got started. I can't do anymore right now.
She's
I need
got
to
to tell me
turn
like
off.
8 or 9 times though.
Yeah, like
I forget.
I need to turn
Not
off.
everybody's wired like
No,
that.
it's just because I get so excited about work.
No,
And
yeah.
this is his.
It's
This has
passion.
always been his passion from the beginning. You know what I mean? I asked to join on to that, and I'm so grateful that he's allowed me to. But I also still, every once in a while, I need a cut off. I'm not built the same way.
And that is
That's
a
where we
bold,
butt the heads.
That's where we butt heads so much. Even as you're sitting here saying this, I'm like, man, I love the passion. I do. It drives us. It keeps us moving. But it's hard because every once in a while I do miss getting home from work at 5 o'clock and not thinking about it. Every once in a while.
And I can't.
And he doesn't ever.
I can't.
He doesn't ever.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night. Something as silly as, did I order that paint color? Oh, did I dry my paintbrush? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just,
And
I got a big dream. And
absolutely.
I want to make it where they don't have to, where she doesn't have to be a part of it. Like,
right.
Yeah.
That's one of my next questions, is because there's only 2 of you and you're pumping out hundreds and hundreds of shoes.
like 1,100 pairs this year.
Is there a way to, leverage? Do you see seasons in your future where you can leverage certain pieces of the business? Or because obviously the shoes is your brand and your label is going on there, but is there going to be, something in your future where you feel like I can leverage this piece so I can get a piece of
I got some stuff.
cooking?
He's got always ideas.
I mean,
Always.
I wanted to create this, as I said, I wanted to create a brand, not a business. I wanted to create a business, not a job. Right now, I've still created a job. I'm a brand, but it's a job. I've got some ideas and steps I have to take to corner some markets.
yeah.
To make it where I'm a centerfold of my market of like, you have to go through me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it takes time.
Oh, absolutely.
It takes time.
Everything
And
does.
I mean, I think that's something that people got to realize too. Like, you got to, I think it's one of our strong points. I'm really good at like, oh, idea. She's really good at filtering. There's one that we can make feasible.
I'll cherry pick them. I'll be like, this is great, but first let's get through numbers 1 through 17. You know what I mean? Like, let's do this.
She's able to put my
and this
ideas
is
into
great.
action.
And I know these mentalities can be very chaotic because you're more like aligned with Roy's mentality, and I'm very on.
We've always said
my-
that about
always.
us. So
we know
that-
this, right? Like, our minds does not stop creative wise for not just our business, but as I'm sitting here talking, I'm like the tabs that are constantly open in our brains, and it is wise.
That's
because-
exactly what I say it is. It's like, and then I'll freak out because
But you can go
I
back
get too
on-
many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to close some out. But then one that's
need
been
more, ring
popped
'em.
up that you've just not closed, you'll remember it at the timing that you need to remember it, and then boom.
And then don't understand why she can't do that.
I'm not like
And
that.
that
at
causes
all.
the biggest conflict in our relationship.
If I don't
is
write it
because,
down, it's not happening.
and it frustrates me. I'm like, well, you shouldn't. That's important. You shouldn't have to write that down to remember it, because in my mind,
But
it'll just pop up when it needs to.
Yeah. No, I get 2 tabs. One's mostly background music. The other's whatever we're talking about right now. Okay, I got
So
2.
I thought this was the Shayna show, not the Shayna therapy session.
I know, right? Gosh.
She saved me $1.75 this week.
Thanks, Shayna.
let's close some
That's
tabs.
dinner.
Well, you know what, Emily, to be able to cherry pick the ideas to close the unnecessary, because I think as creatives we can think so big at all times, and we have to always remember that there are steps to the process. There are steps to get to the overall goal. And if we don't take it one step at a time, and sometimes we need help because we're like, that's the goal, then let's go get it right now, forgetting that there's this process. And it's great to have people who aren't wired the same, because it can be very overwhelming. Roy gets exhausted. I mean, shoot, my mind is probably like, about to burn out. I can just feel like the heat from a computer. It's just, but that is the beauty of a creative mind.
It
you
is.
know.
And if everybody, I think that's why opposites find each other too. It's we're a
So-
team. Even Matt runs around and what's his thing he says now? Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's just how we live in our home. It's not perfect though, and it's never going to be.
No.
We figure
No
out the
one's
issues that
is.
we have now.
Oh, what
As soon as you figure those issues out,
new ones come up.
there's new ones arise. That's what home is. It's
That's
in business.
marriage.
It's
Maybe
the
that's
same.
in business.
Yeah, it's the
Life
same,
is
and
all
it's
the
Because once you reach to the goal,
There's no.
once
now
you
you
got
got
it all
more-
figured out. You in heaven.
we ain't there yet.
Like once you got it all figured out,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the different. That's how business and home mirror each other, though. Is man, as soon as you figured out how to get rent paid last month, you got to figure out how to get paid next month. Like,
Right.
as soon as I figure out how to do one design on a shoe, it's on to trying to figure out how to do something else. As soon as I figure out like when hangry is hangry, like, you got to figure out when it's too hot in the house. Like, it's just always something. Just learning each other, and the world is constantly changing. So obviously the person you're going to be with is changing, and your business is changing.
The demands and what's expected of you are constantly changing throughout
That's our
life.
biggest.
And
That is our biggest strength. Able to pivot and pivot fast.
That's my word. That was my first speech. Pivot into potential.
Yeah, you've got to be able to
Yep.
and not be scared to do it. It's-
So for any entrepreneur out there, or anyone that's, just came up with either parents with a scarcity mindset, or came from little to nothing, or nobody believed in them, what advice do you guys have? Because you both sacrificed to be where you are today. It doesn't matter. Yeah, obviously your brand, you're doing the bulk of this creativity, but without a backbone, like, what do you have to advise others when things don't make sense on paper? everything's saying no, but faith is saying
Turn
go.
no to goes.
Yeah.
Turn no to goes.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody tells you no, just go and do it anyways. Just go and do it anyways. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, what's worse can happen? We failed and we wind up working till we're 65. Wasn't that what we were going to do anyways?
No.
So, and
We
do it for
start
you.
over, we go back to that 1-bedroom apartment and, eat mac and cheese and hot dogs every night again. Okay.
And I
We made
think
it through it once, we'll do it again.
I think for
Yeah.
people to try and be entrepreneurs, the biggest thing is don't look at anyone else.
Mhm.
Yes, you can have mentors and role models, but their path is not your path. And if you try to make it, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work.
Period.
So
So good. Guys, thank y'all for your time.
of course, thank you
Thank
for
you
everything.
for,
Thank you for the
real-
handprints in the store.
I know. Thanks for believing
I know. I'm like,
in
I need to
us.
come in and
Like,
look a little handprint over
yeah.
there. And,
I was
Oh
still
yeah,
there.
it's
so
still
fun.
there.
Still
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
yeah.
I know. Me and the kids actually over the summer, I came by a few times, but it was closed.
Yeah,
I-
we
and,
do an appointment
and then by the
only.
time I'm driving
Yeah.
through on South Tryon, I'm like, I got to get back through. I got to get through this traffic. I got to get home. It's kid pickup for the other. You know how it is. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, it's just special beginnings, and I know it's still just the beginning, and it's still like trying to figure out and weed out, opportunity and where those stepping stones are taking you. But if anybody, and Roy and I are on the same page with this, but we believe in you guys, and keep your head straight, and figuring out all the
One
all
day
the
at a time.
tabs,
One
all
day
the
at a time.
tabs.
And
Yeah.
the city's growing, so hopefully we'll grow with it.
Yeah.
You know?
absolutely.
Thank you for everything. Y'all been
Yeah.
great. Y'all believed in us from the.
Mhm.
I'll never forget y'all coming down the store.
I know.
The day after we signed the lease, when we met y'all and y'all came in and
Empty.
instantly believed in it.
And just felt like family.
We were talking
off
about
the
them
gate.
the other day about y'all got the DJ for the grand opening and
Yeah.
just like how much
Yeah.
y'all believed in it when no one.
Yeah, shout out Dion. He he came and
Yeah.
So
up top.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
2 years ago, they made it
Wild.
through 2 years in retail. Like,
That's incredible.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. If you guys need a custom pair of shoes or cleats for gifts or private parties, private bookings, or if you just want to see a creative on the field, on the court during the weeks of games you're already watching, this is the power couple behind the Shoedio. You can find them at the Shoedio_CLT. But don't just think they stop in Charlotte, baby. They are in households across the nation already. And I'm super excited just to continue to stand beside you guys, believe in you guys, and watch you flourish. So go follow them and go ahead and book and get some custom shoes.
Thank everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Go chase your dreams.
Mhm.